do it. I wanted to, you know. I
You
love
don't
that.
make any money is so wicked.
Yeah, it's pretty
I'm
awesome.
You read
20
that book
minutes
yet,
into that
Steve?
book. I'm 20 minutes in, and my favorite part's like, this is the crime I performed, but that's not the one I went to jail for.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, his other two books are awesome too.
I have one.
Yeah.
I haven't read it. It's The Art of Deception and
And
the
Art of Intrusion.
Art of Intrusion. Really, they're good.
Yes, yes.
Are they
I'm reading The Art of Deception right now, or listening to The Art of Deception.
Are they written by him?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not like a no. Yes. He was like a co-writer. It's one of those instances where you have like a super talented person and then a co-author who is used to helping people write their books.
Gotcha.
But yeah,
I think we should get
awesome.
him on the show too, and I think he would. Chris, if you ask him, we'll have him on the show.
Yeah,
Guaranteed.
I tweeted him about how good his book was, and he said, "Great, thanks. Put a review on Amazon."
Nice.
Yeah.
I think you should ask him. See what he says.
I'm a little afraid of him, to be honest.
What's the worst he can do? Hack your system? Come on, you'll be great.
We should have a hack war between him and Sci-Fi, live on Nuts at Night.
I bet that's her mentor. All right, Cody, you're up.
It's gonna be her dad. Watch.
Yeah, right.
Okay, well, I have a crazy customer story, but I'm gonna go ahead and deviate from that line.
Okay.
I just want to say I'm really happy that I cut the cord about 3 years ago. I no longer use cable. I no longer pay for cable, and for those of you thinking about doing it, I mean, 3 years ago it was feasible to do. I don't watch sports. So that's one of the main things that you need if you if that's one of the main reasons to continue to get cable. Although, just today, I'll post this in chat.
Yeah, I couldn't do it
cable
for sports.
TV. Cut cable TV.
Yeah. I haven't had cable in like 3 years.
Nice.
I'll post this in the chat. Xbox Live announced today that they will be getting new pay content from Comcast and Verizon.
Really?
Yep.
Let's put this in the chat. All right. Want to tell us about it?
Yeah, they're going to be adding a lot more. It's just going to be another great option for people who want to potentially get out from underneath of their cable provider, as far as paying for TV. I mean, right now, the wife and I use Netflix and Hulu Plus. I just bought a Roku. There's all sorts of great content on there. The
Like Podnutz.
Podnutz app, yes, very very cool. I was watching that on the big screen tonight. She just shook her head at me like, "I know why you got this thing." Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, this is going to be huge because this deal is one of the biggest ones where it's leaning more toward a la carte programming. It's not just I'm subscribing to this service because I like what they want, but they're actively going out and picking things that people want and are going to bring it in. And then with all of the new with Roku, like you can get UFC, you can pay for UFC, you can get NHL, Major League Baseball, and I even think they have an NFL package. I mean, if you're thinking about cutting the cord and if you're sick and tired of paying, a lot of money for cable TV, I mean, at least worst case scenario, if you're not in a 1 year contract, cut it off for 30 or 60 days, give one of these a try. You're going to save a ton of money and you're going to have more control over what you watch as far as ads and content. You're not going to be forced to watch all the garbage that they put on.
Right.
Yeah,
so
for me, it's the ads, man. That's when, even with a DVR, it's just pees me off that I have to pay. It would be different if I didn't pay for cable and then they show ads.
Right.
That's fine. I'd be okay with that. But since I'm paying for the cable and paying for the privilege of watching this media, then why should I have to pay for the ads? I'm already paying for the media.
Totally.
I shouldn't get both.
Yeah.
That's a burn.
That's the word.
Right. Yeah, and I will say the Roku XS, it's their higher end box that I bought. You can actually plug in a USB drive into it and run external media on it as well. So if you have a device like that, or like the Boxy Box, where you can not only have access to the digital streaming content, but also have the ability to run local content, I would say start with one of those devices. They cost just a little bit more. That Roku XS was $99.99, which is great, and it's so tiny. It's like the size of like a can of chewing tobacco. I mean, it's so tiny. I could not believe how small it was.
Yeah, they went the route of Apple TV, I think, on those.
Oh, no, it's so small. And then also the Boxy Box you can hook up. The Boxy Box has more options for file formats, so I bet it's twice as much at $199.99. But if you're thinking about it, I mean, worst case scenario, even if you just have a machine where you can test out the content, give it a try for 30 days because you save a lot of money. With Hulu Plus, you still have, it's like 3 minutes, 3 commercial breaks at 30 seconds to a minute each. But even though that's so small in comparison, I'm to the point now where I see one of those come on, I'm like, oh man, again. But there is a little counter in the top left-hand corner that says this ad will end in this many seconds. So it's not a big deal, but
guess you get used to that. It's better than network TV.
oh yes. Break the shackles.
For a fairly cheap setup, my setup is really cheap actually. I spent about $200 on gear, and to me it gives the best of both worlds. I've got an Asus Oplay, it's called, which is like a network streamer. It plays.
Oh, okay.
It's based on Linux. It plays everything under the sun. I've never put a file format to it that it doesn't play, and it was $99. So it streams all the stuff from my network attached storage or from your PC. It works with DNLA and all that kind of stuff. So it streams all the content that I own already. And then for a good box that's small and really cheap, and I know most people hate Apple, is the Apple TV, because the nice thing about it is you can get Netflix. You can also, if you're motivated enough, for $2.99 or $3.99, you can rent stuff through the iTunes store, and they do have the bulk of new movies, as well as it has a full podcasts and like everything normal iTunes has. So like I can watch, I subscribe to Tech News Today video on it and watch it through my big screen, and it's a wicked media streamer, and it's super cheap at $99 and small. So for a couple $100 you can get sort of everything. We don't get Hulu Plus up here, so for me that's doesn't matter. And it's a nice cheap way, and it's all small, and it works really, really well.
I'm glad you brought that up. I forgot to mention one of the best things about one of the main reasons I bought the Roku was that if you have Amazon Prime, you get their streaming service for free. And on the other end of that, they also offer like brand new HD rentals. They have like brand new releases of $4.99 for 48 hours, or standard definition is $3.99 for 48 hours.
It's just like iTunes.
Yeah, and when you register the device, you get a $5 credit. So like I activated the device the other night. Last night, my wife and I rented Bridesmaids, and it was just 1080p right there. Boom, no stuttering, nothing, and it's wireless. So
that actually wasn't too bad of a movie. It's pretty funny.
That was pretty funny. Yeah.
Once your baby gets a little bit older, and when you probably have another one, and you'll be like, what? Sitting down and watching a new release movie? There's just no time for that. So it's like Netflix is great because I just watch stuff that's like about a year old, and to me it's brand new because I don't even know what a year ago was happening in my life because life's so hectic.
Another great thing about it is that I can pause, which I had to do several times, obviously, because of the baby. But yeah, man, it's great. If you're thinking about cutting the cord, like I said, if you're not under the 1-year contract, worst case scenario, give it 30 days. Try a device like Chris is saying. I mean, you can build your own media box and install several versions of these software on them, run it either through Linux, Windows, or Mac. But you'd be amazed. I mean, if you calculate how much you're spending per year just for your cable TV portion of your cable bill, aside from if it's wrapped up with your phone and your internet, I mean, that's a huge amount of money. And for a fraction of that, you could buy the equipment and pay for a year's worth of probably Netflix and Hulu combined.
Oh, totally.
You'd still be saving a lot of money.
And I'm just going to say, even if you forget about the money, just to give it to those stupid cable monopolizing idiots.
They are.
It's so worthwhile. And I'll tell you the sports thing, how I got around it, is I ran a big, long, 20-foot HDMI cord that plugs into the side of my laptop, and 9 out of 10, so for me, almost all Canucks games, that's the only thing I care about is hockey, I can stream directly live from CBC is our main Canadian broadcaster up here, and they have every single game, and I can stream it all live from the internet. It's not the best quality in the world, but it's free, and I stream it, and it goes right through my HDMI onto my big TV. Beautiful.
Tell you.
There you go.
I cut the cord a while back, and because I usually live in big cities or in suburbs of big cities, so I always usually get digital HD over the air, and I highly, highly recommend it. If you're near, at least try it. Find out where the antenna is for all your local channels, and if you want to get at least your local stations, you get them in HD over the air with a freaking set of rabbit ears, and it's better quality than cable. But yeah, Roku is like I look at Roku and I look at Apple TV, and they're like, that's like the boxing match right now. And I think that Apple TV has better, like Chris said, podcasting stuff and management. But The Roku has the Amazon. The Apple TV has the iTunes for movies. So they both kind of even out. And it's just, you just mess around with them. And I definitely am in favor of cutting the cord. My cord is cut right now. But
the Apple TV does not have the Podnutz channel. I'll say that.
This is true. Yes, forget Apple TV.
It has all the Podnutz shows.
Right, just not video.
Right.
No, not video. No.
Yeah, I remember I told the story a while back on Nutz at Night because I have a TiVo and I used to use that thing all the time. Not with cable. I used to have like my antenna hooked up to it and other stuff, and the Amazon movies. But my TiVo, one day I turned it on, and in the menu system, I would press a button like to pause it. And it would say, okay, like press this to resume. And under that, it would ask me, do you have heartburn right now? And I'm like, what the heck? They start putting ads in the menu system. Like
what?
And I'm thinking to myself, how many people actually go, I bet there must have been a lot that actually go, yes, I do have heartburn, and click on that ad. Anyway, I got so pissed off because TiVo is like $13 a month. And I still have yet to cancel that. But anyway, I called them up and I go, I'm paying.
You still have to cancel it.
Oh yeah, I have to cancel. I looked at my bill the other day. I'm still getting it.
I hate that. I have lynda.com and I'm like, God,
I know, I hate that.
I paid my TiVo like the bill like 14 months after I disassembled mine and cannibalized it for the hard drive.
Really?
Yeah, so I feel your pain, but man, just do it.
But I remember calling them up because I was so pissed off about it. I called up and I go, I think my TiVo has a virus. And they go, what? What do you mean? They can't get a virus. I go, mine's inspected. I think it's spyware or something. It keeps popping up these ads. And the guy's like, what do you mean? What does it say? I said, I was watching something and it asked me if I had heartburn. I'm like, how do I like reset the operating system? And he's like, no, those are supposed to be there. Like that's normal. I go, but they weren't there last week. I'm like, I must have got infected or something. How do I fix this? He's like, no, that's normal. Wait, I'm like, what do you mean it's normal? I pay you $12 a month. How could that be normal? Well, yeah, we put ads in there. I'm like, but I don't think you heard me. I pay you $12 a month. How could you put ads? Anyway, we went back and forth. I don't think I taped that call, but I definitely should have. But finally,
but Steve, did you have heartburn?
I might have actually.
And did you tell it yes or no?
What?
Did you answer the question on the TiVo yes or no?
No. Even if I did have heartburn, I did not feel compelled to answer the question.
Well, I just wonder if you said yes, if you hit yes, if it actually helped you, work through it, made it go away.
Instructions on how to cure heartburn. No.
That's worth $13 a month.
I actually don't know what it would have done. That's a good question. I never clicked on it.
I just bring up like a Tums commercial.
Yeah, it's true.
Dum-dums.
And now we'll never know.
You should have clicked on it because you probably did have a heartburn after you saw it.
Yeah. Plus, they probably would have charged Tums for it too.
Right. Yeah.
One last thing, I'm sorry, along these lines, Steve, your Logitech review, can it play external media?
Oh gosh, I have the Sony one, and I believe it can.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Because it's Google TV, so I think it can.
Right.
I never did, but I think it can.
Okay, because the Logitech one I just saw at Radio Shack is down to $99.
Oh yeah, that thing's dropping. Like they're going way down.
Yeah.
I would just like to say, if anybody didn't vote, I think this is the last day. Vote for Nutz at Night for your favorite entertainment podcast. We want to win an award. Go to podcastawards.com and vote for Nutz at Night as your favorite entertainment podcast. And I was kind of telling everybody, if you want to support Podnutz, also vote for Podnutz Daily as your favorite tech podcast. Even if you like Android App Addicts, even if you like Linux for the Rest of Us, even if you like any of the other shows, Podnutz Pro, just vote Podnutz Daily, because if we all focus our votes into one, I think we have a better chance of winning. Today's the last day, I'm pretty sure, right? It's not over yet. So before tonight's over, go to podcastawards.com. I think you have 7 minutes left in the East US. And vote for Podnutz shows.
I will be nice for 2 weeks. I'll be nice on the show. I'll be nice to everybody. I'll come with a smile. I'll be happy
if we win.
You vote, and you have to win. Yeah. If we don't win, I'm going to be a bitter person.
Don't say that, man. I think people love your bitterness.
Oh, okay.
Use the reverse psychology. It works better.
Every show needs a villain.
This is true.
That's Liam though.
No, that's you.
Liam, who's that? We haven't seen Liam in 10 years.
Yeah, that's right.
We voted you to be. You're the villain. You've been voted.
All right, check this out. I do have one thing. It's a quick little video. Again, my Google Plus stream is my content provider now for Nutz at Night content. I love it. This is from Ken Sprouse. He Google streamed this. It's a commercial, and I thought this was awesome. So I'm gonna play it. I don't know if I could full screen it yet. Here we